Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is time again. How are we doing on a Tuesday? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Tomorrow, we will be on the road at Moe's Irish Pub. Looking forward to being out there tomorrow. Right there, Highway 100. Tosa, come over, say hi. My favorite thing on that menu, and they have lots of delicious food over there. My favorite thing on that menu, grilled cheese and tomato soup. The last time we were there doing this show, I got there a little bit early and had me some grilled cheese and tomato soup. Charlie, I think tomorrow I may attempt to get there a little bit early and have me some grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Are you going to bring me back a grilled cheese and tomato soup, Sparky?
Wouldn't it be cold by the time I got back here at 6 o'clock?
There's this
5:30?
magical thing called a microwave that I'm more than happy to use.
Well, so I'll get into that in a second. So Moe's Irish Pub tomorrow. Come on out. The Brewers are playing in the afternoon, right? So they'll have the game on. Everybody will be watching the game, hang out. 2 to 3 o'clock, Tommy Wirtz will have the leadoff show, part of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. So I'll be co-hosting with him from Moe's Irish Pub. And then 3 to 5, we'll do this show like we always do tomorrow. And coming up on tomorrow's show, Mike Wall will join us, former Packers offensive lineman. Looking forward to getting him on tomorrow, and he'll join us coming up tomorrow afternoon at 3:25. Mike Wall, 3:25 tomorrow afternoon. Talk about this Packers offensive line and just all the debacle that is ensued on this Packers offensive line with Mike Wall. Again, tomorrow, 3:25. Rick Schlesinger, Brewers president of business operations, will join us coming up here in about 15 minutes or so. Looking forward to talking to him about the upcoming playoff rounds for the Brewers and what special things they may be planning there. Charlie's Sounds of the Day comes up at 3:40 as well, brought to you by Prize Picks. So Jerry Jones is at it again, talking to the media, talking to the press down in Dallas with the return of Micah Parsons coming back to Dallas coming up this weekend for the Green Bay Packers. The Cowboys down a couple of offensive linemen due to injuries. Cowboys down CeeDee Lamb as well due to injury. So, again, you don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, but it feels like this should be a pretty nice victory for the Packers coming up Sunday Night Football. But you know Jerry Jones, and however he decides to do this, will try to get those boys fired up in the locker room before the game because Micah Parsons is coming back. There will be a lot of, hey, they all think you stink because we got rid of Micah. Hey, go out there and prove them wrong, guys. Show them what it's all about. Kenny Clark, they didn't like you. They traded you. You need to go get that quarterback for Green Bay. He's making a lot of money. Take him out, right? A lot of that stuff's going to be going on. So we'll see how motivated they come out for the old guy and see how much that really plays in. Now, I have no idea why any reporter would go to Jerry Jones and ask Jerry Jones, the guy that traded Micah Parsons, whether or not you'd be doing a tribute video for Micah Parsons. Like, I don't understand. Like, why on earth do you think, after all the stuff that he's had to deal with since he made that trade, why do you think this man would trade Micah Parsons? Micah Parsons was lying flat on an injury table at one point in his last game there, acting like he was dying there to make a scene and do whatever he did. The man forced his way to the Green Bay Packers, him and his agent. And you think Jerry's going to go, oh, you love him. Love him. Can't wait to have a tribute for him. Always will be a Cowboy. One of my favorites of all time. After how it ended, now, I'm not saying they may not do something for Micah in 5 years, 10 years, maybe. But to ask the man if he's going to do something now, I think it's a little too soon to be thinking he's going to do anything now. So, of course, Jerry answers it the way Jerry answers it. What did Jerry say?
So Jerry said via the Dallas Morning News, I don't think that's the appropriate this way. Emmitt Smith was a different story. That's not to diminish Micah. I think Micah has enough welcome out there, and we just need to show that we've got antidotes for that.
Mm-hmm. So the question is, what qualifies a player for a tribute video? If you were owning a team when you are president of a team, what would a player have to do in order to, when they come back with another team, to merit a tribute video before the game starts? Right? Luka, the Lakers coming from Dallas. If Giannis were to ever leave when he comes back, I'm pretty sure they'd give him one as well. Some of these dudes are going to get those videos because they're beloved and their fan base knows they're beloved. So they're going to do a little something for them normally. But I can look at the Milwaukee Bucks with the worst tribute video of all time when they did a tribute video for OJ Mayo. For the love of God, that made no sense then. It makes no sense all these years later. It was one of the most
He got did so dirty, and the Bucks were so right for giving him a tribute video because 3 years after he got suspended from the NBA,
talking about
3 years after he got suspended from the NBA, they stopped drug testing for marijuana, and that is the only reason he got banned from the NBA.
Dude was like playing down in Mexico or something.
It's just nuts. He got did dirty, so I think he deserved a tribute video. I disagree with you wholeheartedly on that.
I deserve nothing. Nothing at all. Sorry about your bad luck, dude, but you knew the rules. You broke the rules. Too bad for you. I'm sorry. That's how life goes. But you didn't do enough of anything in a Bucks uniform to merit getting a tribute video.
I also just loved OJ Mayo when he was on the Bucks. He was like one of my first favorite players too, alongside Ersan Ilyasova.
See how ruined our youth was growing up in that era? You thought we all had it bad.
Yeah.
At least my first memories were like Humphreys, Alvin Robertson, Sigma, Cummings. Those guys were my first memories.
Joel Prisbilla, OJ Mayo, Carlos Delfino. That was a squad.
Joel Prisbilla. Stop.
The white gorilla, baby.
Dude, stop. That's absolutely absolutely stop. Either way, my point is, what has to happen for you in order to give somebody a tribute video? At the end of the day, I'll give you an example. When Dallas comes back to Green Bay at some point, we doing a tribute video for Kenny Clark? Kenny Clark was here for a minute now. He'd been here quite some time, right? Kenny Clark was a Pro Bowl level caliber player, really good player. That's why they paid him all that money when he was here. Does he get a tribute video when he comes back? Did they give a tribute video to Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, and the rest of those cats? Now, maybe none of those guys actually came back to Green Bay to play, so they never had that opportunity. But I can't really remember tribute videos when guys come back to play. This Aaron Rodgers thing, this ain't going to be a thing, right? Because they're going to Pittsburgh. So you're not going to get that opportunity. So you don't necessarily have those type of moments sometimes when players are at the end of their careers floating around trying to stay on rosters, and maybe you don't get an opportunity to go back and play your original team at the end of the day. But for me, if you're doing a tribute video, you have to be Pro Bowl, All-Star, whatever, something along those lines. You have to have been with the organization for at least 2 contracts in order to deserve this. So your rookie contract, your second contract, and you have had to have either been a Pro Bowl or All-Star player. What say you? Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250, Facebook and Twitter at The Fan Milwaukee. Sound off with a recorded voice message on the Odyssey app as well. Partake over there in the Dugout chat on YouTube. It's there for you as well. Charlie normally does a good job of reading those. I always prefer phone calls. I know text messages are very popular, and if you feel more comfortable text messaging from work or wherever versus coming on the air, that's fine. But I always prefer the phone myself and talking to you one-on-one on the air. So those are my standards for a tribute video. Those 2 things. And number 3, and most importantly, you can't leave on a bad note. Because if you leave on a bad note, I may give you one, but it may not be till you're retired and we're bringing you back for the Fan Hall of Fame or whatever you may have in your organization or your city. Like the Bucks don't even have anything. Brewers don't have anything. But for the Packer Hall of Fame, right? That's when Brett Favre finally got welcomed back 10 years after it was all over or whatever. It took that long for everybody to move on and for him to move on to accept coming back. This Micah Parsons thing here, this ain't going to be the same thing. That wasn't pretty how it ended in Dallas. For sure. And Mike is probably going to have a pretty good game against Dallas, I would think, coming back in this one. But even having said that, it wasn't all the way out there like the Brett Favre divorce was with the Packers. I think they get over this here in a couple of years and everything is back on track, and maybe they give it to him the next time he comes back. I think it's crazy to think the owner of the Cowboys, who had his hand forced by Micah Parsons, is going to give this dude a tribute video, though. That seems nuts.
Going back to your last point there, that they can't leave on bad terms. What if a player is integral to like an important moment in the history of that organization? So like a Kawhi Leonard in that terms, who left San Antonio on bad terms, but was also a key part in their last championship there. Do you give him a tribute video, even though he left on bad terms? Is that a different situation than like a Micah Parsons, because they never won a championship there? I mean, Micah Parsons still in his 4 years with Dallas was a 2-time All-Pro, Defensive Rookie of the Year. If he hadn't got hurt the last 2 years, would probably be a first-team All-Pro in those years too. I mean, he is the epitome of what kept Dallas alive the past 4 seasons.
Doesn't matter. You hacked off the owner on the way out. The owner's going to figure out whether or not you get one. Got one coming in here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line 262. Has to be a major contributing factor to a championship or a Hall of Fame player near their end of their career to have a tribute.
Okay, so then what about, like, I know these guys never left their teams, but Udonis Haslem and a Nick Collison.
Oh, Haslem for sure.
So like those guys who stayed around with their franchise.
If Haslem ran for governor in Miami, he'd win. Or not governor, mayor of Miami, he'd win.
They were never a key piece of a championship. Haslam was for those first one with Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. That's right. But after that, he wasn't really a key part of those teams.
He was a vet leader, role player.
But then like a Nick Collison, who never really touched the court for Oklahoma City, but was still an important part of that organization.
No.
I mean, those guys weren't Hall of Fame players near the end of a career, and they weren't, at least towards the end of their careers, contributing factors.
So back to the 262. I have another one coming in here from the 919. Where the hell is 919?
I don't know. We got somebody from Washington yesterday. That was fun.
Really?
I like looking up there.
This is great. That means you're streaming us on the Odyssey app, or you're watching us on YouTube, searching for the Fan Milwaukee on YouTube.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
All right. Raleigh, North Carolina. Y'all should go check out our guy, Kevin Holden. He's down in North Carolina. Go check him out. He's sports director of one of the CBS affiliates down there. He tweets, or she, whoever this is that texted in, Bucks did a tribute video for PJ Tucker, and the Brewers just did one for Willie Adames. Now, PJ Tucker? No. PJ Tucker was not an All-Pro. PJ Tucker is not a Hall of Famer. PJ Tucker wasn't even an All-Star for the Milwaukee Bucks. He was a glue piece, a Scott Williams type, right, for this team, who brought that toughness, who brought that leadership, that kind of helped show the Bucks how to win to a certain degree. And they won a championship, right? So when you win a championship, the lesser parts maybe get that tribute video at the end of the day, right? Maybe that's exactly what happens. But I'm going to tell you this. The Willie Adames one, they did win a championship, right? He was pretty good for his time here. Willie Adames got one because everybody loved the dude. That's it. End of story.
What about Craig Counsell?
That fan interaction
he got one
between Willie Adames and the fans and all the cool stuff he did with fans along the time when he was up to bat and talking to people in the stands and all that stuff, all the great interviews and all that stuff. That man was beloved by the fan base. That's the one caveat that we didn't talk about of what gets you a tribute video. That man was loved by everybody. So that, I think,
Craig Counsell wasn't loved by everybody when he got a tribute video.
Who? Coming up, we still have to get to Rick Schlesinger, Brewers president of business operations.
Probably ask him about this. He might have good insight.
Coming up here in 5 years, we're going to ask him because this is the man that's kind of in charge, I would think, of the tribute videos and who gets one and who doesn't. Man, you better kiss Rick's butt if you want a tribute video. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Don't forget shuttles to and from every Brewers home game. It's going through the postseason. All you have to do is make a same-day wager on a game or make a purchase at the Potawatomi Sportsbook kitchen, and you are ready to rock and roll. Get on. They start running 1 hour before the game. They stop running 1 hour after the game. There's several of them. They go back and forth. Pay for free in the parking garage at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. To those of you that came out last night, hung out with me for Monday Night Football at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Love it. Got to meet a couple of new people. I met one dude who literally, I was like, hey, man, you a fan of the fan, right? You listen all the time? Honestly, man, first day was today. Big fan of John Kuhn. So I listen to your station now that John Kuhn's on the station. So first day listening to the station. Heard you were going to be out. Sounded like a good time. I had nothing going. So him and his wife, girlfriend, whatever, came out and hung out. Brewers fan, Bucks fan, Bears fan.
Smart man.
First team he remembers is the 1985 Bears. That was it.
Great.
Wasn't going to root for anybody else.
I love it.
And then
That's
we talked
awesome.
about you, and he goes, see? And then there's people his age that had their whole youth ruined because somebody told them to be a Bears fan. He goes, it's unfortunate. Right? Because,
I'm
but when
an
he
adult
started,
now
they
with,
were a great team. Now,
I'm an adult now with agency now. I can choose a different team, and I stick with the Bears, man.
Which is great. But I mean, he's just saying you haven't witnessed like anything. It's been crap.
No, it's been pretty bad.
It's been crap. Rich Schlesinger comes up next. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy. Sparky here. speed. See Sparky, Fifer here. Charlie Houston producing the show. Chicago Charlie, other side of the glass. Still the Cup Charlie Sounds of the Day, brought to you by Prize Picks. That comes up at about 3:40. Looking forward to seeing what Charlie has cooked up today. I heard, we talked in our pre-show meeting today, that there's something involving Peyton Manning. Was that from Monday Night Football?
It was, yes.
Yeah, I was at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. So when all of that was going on, they didn't have the Manning cast on. We had the regular game on, and then in every commercial break, I was giving stuff away and so forth during the game. So had no chance to pay attention to whatever was going on there on another channel. Joining us now, there he is. Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. Friend of the show. Love me some Rick Schlesinger. Joins us now, Brewers President of Business Operations. Rick, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so let's start at the obvious point here. We're getting ready for the playoffs. End of the regular season is coming. You're used to playoff baseball and preparing for playoff baseball as a guy that's seen plenty of it in his time here with the Milwaukee Brewers. So what are the next steps here? Because you're kind of now going to be in a holding pattern once this thing ends and you wait for the wild card round to play out.
Yeah, it's sort of a interesting position where, we know we are playing in the division series, so we know we have a bye out of the wild card, which is always nice. And we just don't know who we're going to play. We know we're going to open at home, and we know the first games are going to be Saturday, October 4 and Monday, October 6. And we don't know who we're playing at, where we're going from there. But yeah, we'll wait and see. There's a lot of close matchups with these playoff contenders, and the standings change daily. So we'll just sort of wait and see.
Here's a quick way to make some money. Do you open any type of practice that the Brewers have during that bye week for the wild card round to the public?
No, I think we're going to keep that the week after the season ends, when we're doing some internal drills and stuff. We'll keep that private. Just we don't need to give the opposing teams any insights into our drills and our plays.
Insight? How many baseball drills could there possibly be, Rick?
Oh, you never know.
Really?
Yeah, there's always a few.
I guess there probably is. You're right. Yeah, Rick Schlesinger, President of Business Operations for the Milwaukee Brewers, joining us here in Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Do we know, I'm sure you know, are you willing to tell us what we're talking about giveaway-wise on that Saturday and Monday? I always root for things that make a lot of noise. I'm a big cowbell guy because that really screws up the other team when it gets to be that loud. Pretty sure that's probably not even allowed in Major League Baseball right now. But what are the thoughts on giveaways?
Yeah, I think rally towels for sure. You're not allowed to have noisemakers so you can't have thunder sticks or cowbells.
We used to have thunder sticks. We had thunder sticks at American Family Field, and
you can't have them in the postseason anymore. So
because we had them, right?
It'll be rally towels.
I'm not imagining this. The first time the Brewers went to the playoffs after 26 years, game 1 was towels, game 2 was thunder sticks, right?
I can't remember, but
I'm positive
that the rules have changed since 2008. So, regardless of what happened in 2008, in 2025, there's no noisemakers.
I don't like that rule. That's a bad rule, right? I mean, the part of having a home field advantage is to get it as loud as possible. And I know you can cheer, you can yell, and you can do all that stuff. I just think it adds to it. Like, if you think of soccer and all the noisemakers and everything else they got at it, it just amps up the. Does that same thing apply to, what's it called now? The World Baseball Classic? Because I feel like they've got noisemakers there, don't they?
Yeah, the rules may be different there depending on the venue, but for postseason games, Major League Baseball is very specific on what can be given away. And again, I think it'll be very loud anyway, so I'm not too worried about the volume, the decibel level at the ballpark. But artificial noisemakers will not be distributed.
Anything else for Bob Uecker tribute for the postseason?
Some things that we're working on, and as we get a little closer, we'll have some announcements. But still working a lot through the details of all that.
That big thing up in the right field corner, that's going to be like a Uecker museum or something, a Uecker experience?
No, that's baseball operations offices. So as we expand and hire more data people, more analytics people, and more baseball people, they're really running out of room. So we had to create brand new office space for them up there.
You come on. That would have been perfect for the Euchre experience right there. You must be getting set to build a whole brand new building out in the parking lot for Euchre.
Well, we've got a lot of concepts, nothing specific yet, but there's the good news is there's plenty of places in the ballpark for to honor Bob, and the good news is we've got a lot of time and a lot of thoughts and a lot of people working on that project. But yeah, the ballpark's very accommodating for those kind of things. So I have some good ideas on what I think we're going to do, but we're still concepting.
I'm all about it. That sounds good. I like good ideas. What about attendance this year? What were you thinking you were going to end up with? And then what did the number end up? What does it end up looking like?
Yeah, we're going to be about 2.65 million.
Woo!
We should be 12th in MLB in attendance.
Wow.
And so, obviously higher than budget and propels us well for 2026. So we start doing budgeting and analysis, and it's not hard. The deeper we go in the postseason this year, it obviously portends well for 2026. So we're very excited about the position the team's in, and we want to just keep the momentum going. And before you know it, the regular season will over, and then we'll be starting focusing on who we're going to play and how we beat that team. So it's just interesting because there's so many unknowns about who we're playing and whether we're the 1 seed or the 2 seed in the National League and all that stuff. So it's there's still a lot to pay attention to in the regular season, even if these games aren't as important as they were until we clinched the division title.
I feel like I've asked you this before in the million times that you and I have talked over the course of time. So if I have, just act like you've never heard the question before from me and just fake it real nice.
Sure.
The Admirals always do a couple of times a year these school days where they have like a 10:30 puck drop or 11 o'clock puck drop. You have all these buses roll in with all these school kids. They get to see the game and get back by the end of school, and their kids come and pick them up. And then, they're trying to beg their parents to bring them back to an Admirals game after that. Have you thought about any early start times in the future for Brewers baseball to have something like that, to change that atmosphere up on a day game?
Yeah, we actually have a number of 12-10 day game starts where we bring in thousands of school kids already. So it works out well, and they're able to see the game. Now with the games going a little faster, they're able to enjoy more of the game and still be dismissed in time for school to be let out. So yeah, we do that. We've been doing that for several years, and it's actually worked out well when the games are now 2.5 hours long instead of over 3 hours.
How has the parking system worked since kind of going away from doing it the old school way, like the way you did, and now having everybody scan to pay for their parking?
Yeah, it's in terms of ingress, which was the number one goal. It's achieved all of the objectives. So fans are able to come into the parking lots without a long wait and without having to do a transaction and without causing traffic jams on I-94. And it's worked out great. We're still working to try to improve egress after the game. There are some restrictions and some limitations given the fact that now the games are shorter. Most people are staying. So you have 40,000 people all leaving the game at the same time, and that obviously causes some traffic jams leaving the ballpark. So we're still trying to figure out the best solutions. We've got some parking consultants. When they start working on the 94 freeway extension and expansion, that'll provide us with opportunities to maybe have input on how we can have better an exit out of the ballpark onto the freeways and the roads. But from an ingress perspective, it's been fantastic. So we're very pleased with the new parking system.
Playoff tickets and so forth. When can people start to get their tickets?
Yeah, we've put the Division Series tickets on sale, and we're essentially sold out. There's a few standing room only and a few obstructed view, but they went on sale at 10 o'clock this morning, and by 2 o'clock they were pretty much all gone. There's a little bit left, but as you could expect, there's a frenzy for demand, and I assume that the best way for people to get tickets is again become a season seat holder for 2026, and that gets you opportunities to get a strip for all postseason games, including all the way to the World Series if we're fortunate enough to be there.
That's a beautiful thing. He is Rick Schlesinger, again, Brewers President of Business Operations. Follow him on Twitter as well, because he's not there. You're not going to find him. I got two more for you that don't concern Brewers playoff baseball. Okay.
Hit me.
My first one is a story that Andrew Wagner wrote about this Little League game that from his sources that he had in his article on Forbes Sports said that from what he's heard that it's going to be the Brewers possibly in that Little League game. Can you talk about that? Can you confirm that one way or the other?
Yeah, I've heard people talk about that. Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, I'll say this, Rick. I hope it's true. I hope it's true because I think it's a pretty cool experience, especially for kids that play in Little League. And they always dream of going there and getting, their not subdivision, but like Hales Corners or Brookfield. Like Whitefish Bay every year seemingly is in the regional and does really well. I've always liked that. Field of Dreams is the one I really want the Brewers in, though, if we're being honest.
Yeah, that's a nice event, and it's Iowa's not too far from here, so
yes.
Yeah, I'm raising my hand. I'll participate in any of these games if Major League Baseball picks us.
I would love it. Second one. So this is football, but it's going to come back to you because you're in charge of all of this, I think. That is Jerry Jones saying, I'm not doing a tribute video for Micah Parsons. It's just not going to happen, right? Because they traded him to the Packers. That whole thing, kind of failed at the end. And we were asking earlier, as far as what does it take? What qualifies a player for a tribute video, regardless of sport? What would they have to do? And some of the answers we got has to be an all-star, has to be near the Hall of Fame, has to be with a certain team for so many years, all of these different things. And then we had people also texting in like, hey, the Brewers just did one for Willie Adames. So I'm assuming you're one of the main people involved here of who gets a tribute video and who doesn't. So what are the objectives that these people have to reach in order to get one for the Brewers?
Yeah, I don't think it's something you can quantify with great precision. I think, to me, it becomes self-evident. Willie was such an integral part of our team and such a great personality, great competitor, and was so beloved by the fans that it was a natural. Then he came back with the Giants for us to do a tribute video. And I guess, it depends on, how the community has embraced a player and all that. So Willie was easy, and again, we've had some really good players leave us and come back, and we've done some nice tributes, but for Willie was easy. If we have that again, we'll sort of take a look at it, but I think it's hard to just put specific benchmarks, saying we'll give a video to this guy, but not for that guy. I think it sort of has to be depending on how the fans have embraced the player. And for Willie, it was an easy call.
Yeah, no question. There he is, Rick Schlesinger, Brewers president of business operations. Playoff baseball upon us again. The man knows every year he gets to plan for it. It's a pretty cool gig if you can get it. Rick, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
You betcha. Take care. There he is, Rick Schlesinger, Brewers president of business operations, joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Like, I need to explain. I didn't want to do it with him because I always bring it up with him. When he got here, this was a horrible organization. Like, it was horrible. Like, all we did was lose. And he came here and said, I got it. Let's go. We'll figure this out. And through the marketing and the promotions, the bobbleheads, the nesting eggs, all these other crazy promotions that he's come up with marketing-wise, the idea of sending buses to like UW-Milwaukee or Marquette or whatever, trying to get those college kids to come to games, trying to figure out how do I reach the young people to get them in the gates and grow the next fan base, because the fan base that was probably 30 on up thought you were dead. And didn't even watch baseball anymore at that point, and were completely checked out. So you got to figure out how to grow the next generation and keep growing year after year after year. And obviously having Braun and Fielder and those guys helped get you there. But from where it was when Rick Schlesinger got here with Wendy Seelig-Preem and Doug Melvin to where it is now, where it is an annual thing where pretty much we're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. And the argument is, how far will you actually get in the playoffs? That's the negative story. Not, are we waiting another year for another postseason run? It's been 20. It's been 25. Here's 26. Like that, those days are long gone. And really, it's turned into a great job, I think, in Major League Baseball.
So yeah, growing up, I've gone to Brewers games at least one every year. And when I was younger, I went to a lot more. And the main reason of wanting to go was to go get bobbleheads. I love the bobbleheads that the Brewers
Bobblehead Sundays.
I loved that on Sundays. You could go, and sometimes you'd get the ones with the striped jerseys just randomly mixed in there with all the normal ones. And you'd feel so lucky if you got the one with the striped jersey. I mean, they've done a great job of making it feel like home to people in my generation. And to continue to do that, since it's part of what makes the Brewers so amazing, it's really awesome.
Telling you, years ago, I've told this story before, but I was sitting now where Charlie now has his desk and his little cube that we have because we've added all these people. They all need spaces to work. So in that area right there, I was in one, and on the other side was a cube where like the promo interns used to work out or whatever else. And there were a couple of girls all huddled up and talking about going to the Brewer game that night, or that night. Had no tickets to the game, were simply going to meet boys. That was the only reason. They were going to pay the parking, get in there, had no interest in going to the game, just wanted to hang out and meet boys. That's the only reason they were going. And they were college-age girls. That was it. And I'm literally sitting on the other side going, that's where we're at right now. Like, they don't even have tickets, but that's where the party is. So they're going to pay for parking to go party and have no plans of going into the game whatsoever. And then when the game starts, their plan was, well, if everybody leaves, we'll go party on Blue Mountain until the game's done and wait for all the boys to come out, and then we'll hang out some more. And I guarantee you that's still going on, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
No doubt.
Sure I've seen that before.
Yes, there's no question. That's still going on. And that is great for the Milwaukee Brewers at the end of the day. Also great is Wendy's. Mornings can all start to feel the same. So if you're looking for a fresh wake-up call, look no further than Wendy's breakfast. Try a breakfast Baconator with fresh cracked eggs and crispy bacon, a grilled sausage breakfast burrito, or maybe even a honey buddy. And don't even think about sleeping on Wendy's seasoned potatoes and English muffin sandwiches. Doesn't matter what you go for. It's gonna change your life. Okay, well, at least freshen up your morning. Ready for a fresh wake-up call? It's gotta be Wendy's. Coming up next, Charlie Sounds of the Day, brought to you by Prize Picks. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live right here on the Fan. Sparky here, Charlie Usen over there. Thanks for tuning in today. 4 o'clock hour coming up. Green and Gold updates, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll get to that. Charlie had been perusing the internet. And, you know, they always have all these goofy power rankings. I saw people really get into them and love them and live and die and do topics on them every week and all of that fun stuff. And that's fine. It's something fun to do, right? It's just all opinion-based and so forth. But Charlie found something that he found rather interesting based off of one game by the Green Bay Packers. So we'll dive into that coming up at 4 o'clock. Andrew Wagner, Forbes Sports Brewers writer, brought to you by Focus Baseball, joins us coming up in about 1/2 hour from right now at 4:20. Things we missed on today's show. We'll get to that coming up at 4:40. And we've got so much stuff that we missed. Like today, we were pitching our topics back and forth, and we got probably like 5 topics that we're not going to get to on today's show. So maybe we'll get to them tomorrow, but then we pitch more topics, and then we just
I already got more topics on my mind coming up here. I saw an interview with Giannis for the Greek website that is going to have an interesting topic attached to it. It's going to be fun, Sparky.
Yeah, it's going to be another good show tomorrow. We're at Moe's Irish Pub tomorrow. Come hang out. We'll be there from 2 until 5, 2 to 3, the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and then 3 to 5, Wisconsin Sports Daily as well. Mike Wall will join us at 3:20. Tomorrow afternoon, give us his thoughts as a former Packers offensive lineman. What is going on with this current iteration of the Packers offensive line? So we'll get into that with him tomorrow at 3:20 from Moe's Irish Pub. Looking forward to tomorrow's show for sure. All right, with that being said, let's get to this.
1, 2, 3. What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Fan.
All right, it's brought to you by Prize Picks. Packer fans, you know every game counts, so don't miss a moment of the action this season on Prize Picks. Make your picks on your favorite Green Bay Stars and ride with the Pack all season long. Prize Picks is simple to play. It's daily fantasy. That's all it is. Pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in. Now, if you don't like being all in like that, because I'm never always right on all of them. So Charlie and I like to roll the flex play option when we do our picks on Fridays on the show. So the flex play means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Make sure to go check out the Prize Picks app today. They have max discount picks on players too. So maybe it's a quarterback to throw for more than a half a yard. Maybe it's a receiver to catch for more than a half a yard. Always got discounts going on to take advantage of to make it, hopefully easier for you to win some money. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code Sparky, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Sparky, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Again, if you play $5 lineups by simply putting in Sparky and playing 5, they give you 50. That means if you play $5 lineups, you can play 11 times, 11 different lineups for $5. Now, why wouldn't you use promo code Sparky at Prize Picks? Makes all the sense in the world. All right, Mr. Charlie Usen, what you got?
All right, first up here, you mentioned it before in the show. Peyton Manning on the Manning Cast last night was sharing some changes he would like to make to the NFL. He shared 5, but the last 2 were a lot less serious than the first 3. These first 3, though, are some that I think could bring up some
Can we
interesting
pause after each one and talk?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, let's go.
Do that.
Rule number 1, intercepted Hail Mary shouldn't count against quarterbacks at the end of the half. Hail Mary throws at the end of the first half should be a team interception. They shouldn't be a quarterback's interception. They won't count against the quarterback. Now, Eli, I can see by your face you want some more suggestions.
Yes, I agree. Peyton should not count against the quarterback. Moving on.
Good news. I have some. You good?
Wait, yeah, but on this one, what if you complete the Hail Mary? Does it count for a touchdown throw?
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a stupid question. Of course it does. The interception doesn't count against the quarterback. Number 2, false start, offside, equity within the 10-yard line. If you're on the 1-yard line, the offense false starts, they go back to the 6-yard line. The very next play, if the defense jumps off sides, they only go back half the distance to the 3-yard line. The offense is entitled to get those 5 yards back. That rule makes no sense. Offensive dum-dum, 5 yards back. Defensive dum-dum, I want those 5 yards back. So,
Agreed. So far, it makes a lot of sense.
So what if you're just on the 6-yard line and there's, on all sides, is it still half the distance?
Half the distance, yeah. It's only if there's 2 dum-dum plays in a row,
it's got to be 2
I want
in a
those
row.
yards back.
It's a very precise, specific situation.
It's going to come up tonight. Number 3, targets should not be an official statistic. Targets are one of the biggest reasons wide receivers get angry with quarterbacks. They should be outlawed. How do people know who I was throwing to when the ball was batted or when I was throwing it away? How does some statistician know who the quarterback was targeting? They don't. Let's get rid of targets.
Yeah. No, that I disagree with. And the reason I disagree with that is now you're going to cost these wide receivers money. Those target numbers are used in discussions with agents and everybody else. That's going to be a factor with GMs and players and agents. I don't think you abolish that. I understand it didn't used to be a thing for all those years, but for what it is right now, I think it's a good one.
The last 2 that I didn't play, one was he doesn't want defensive linemen to be able to jump and knock down passes, so batted balls.
No, stupid.
Yeah, that one was pretty stupid. And the last one he said is for personal fouls, he wants players to pay immediately on the field, basically. So they should have a money pouch or something to pay the referees for any personal fouls that happen on the field. Make it more immediate, apparently.
That's more WWE style stuff.
Kind of.
No, I ain't down with that either. I will say this, though. The pass interference call to where it is on the field, I wish college would do that.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish it was consistent. High school should do it too. If I like how the NFL does it, but when you're saying it's 5 yards, 10 yards, that's all it is, not where the spot of the foul is, then why wouldn't you grab all the time if you're beat on a long play? Obviously, you're going to grab.
I think, but the problem is that I think they feel like high school kids, especially, and even college kids to some degree, they are going to hold no matter what. And then if you do have it a spot foul over time, there's just consistently going to be 30-yard penalties for these teams.
Right.
And you're not really teaching the kids the game at that point in high school and college.
I'm not trying to teach kids the game in college. I'm past that at that point. I'm paying you millions of dollars.
If you're at bad school, you're still trying to teach some of your players.
Okay, maybe. I'm just saying with NIL money, we're past trying to teach you anything when you're making that type of money. All right, go ahead.
Next up here, we're going to hear from Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, where he was discussing the lack of transparency on replay assist after Rams Puka Nakua's no catch, and then catch ruling on Sunday versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Nobody knows when, where, and how replay assist is going to be activated. Right. It's just this weird, vague specter that, a replay assist, boom, fix that. What about this? Oh, I don't know. Really, he's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
He
didn't do it that time. I don't know why, but they didn't do it.
He got something bad for lunch. I don't know. That fish was sitting out a little too long, and he's not checked. Because there was the play the other night, the Tyreek Hill. Clearly, not a catch on the sideline. Where's replay assist?
Yeah, right.
So they need more transparency and consistency if they're going to use this. I like it generally, but it can't just be this weird thing where we just spin the wheel and see what happens on any given play, especially if
we're going to be
left with the we're going to be left with the impression from the broadcast that replay assist was involved and screwed it up.
Yeah.
That's what makes it even worse.
Right.
And I'm still getting emails from people saying, what the hell happened on that play? Because even though I wrote about it, we got a cascade of stories on Sunday. You're not going to see all of them. People are confused because in their mind, it was a catch. Replay assist screwed it up when it clearly shouldn't have been overturned. And then Sean McVay had to use a red challenge flag and risk a timeout to fix the thing that was fixed when it wasn't broken.
Yeah, right.
So if you didn't see the play on Sunday, Puka Nacua in the third quarter had kind of a diving catch where it looked like the ball might have hit the ground. So they went to the replay to check out the play, went to commercial and everything. They came back and said that Puka Nacua did not catch the ball after initially saying it was a catch, to which Sean McVay then threw his challenge flag to say that we still think it's a catch. They went to review it once again, and then that time said it was a catch once again.
Are there different people doing both?
Probably for a challenge and then for the initial ref replay. I would assume there are different people that you go to, but I would assume all the same people are looking at it and giving input still.
That's my question. If I was Florio, if I go to replay assist, is it the referee having a part in the call? Is it people in the press box that are making that call? And then when you go to challenge a play, are those people in New York? It can't be the same person. You can't do replay assist and then the same person who said it wasn't, now you challenge and now they say it is. So that's not the case. There's different set of eyeballs or something on this to where you can do that. And it sucked for McVay, who had to drop that flag in order to fix whatever that other person screwed up here. And if that happens, like, that's a horrible look for the National Football League. And those people that are in those situations should be graded, and by the end of the year, make a decision on whether or not you want to bring these people back or not going forward, because that's a horrible look for the National Football League. All right, third and final clip.
And last up here, yesterday I played Washington Nationals Jacob Young, the center fielder for the team, making an insane grab. Well, last night against Atlanta, he made another insane grab.
Mays on every ball. Got to come in on this one. Oh, my goodness. He got it. Oh. He did it again. Did it pop up and then he got up before it hit the ground? He did it again. Goodness gracious, Jacob Young. I mean, this is just incredible. Come on, you can't do that 2 days in a row.
So that was courtesy of MASN. Jacob Young, if you didn't get it from that clip there, he dives. As he's diving and catching the ball pops out of his glove. He reaches over with his right hand and snags it barehanded with his right hand. Yeah. Basically Julian Edelman in the Super Bowl, if you can think of that. Kind of crazy.
Hand-eye coordination at a whole completely different level. While sliding and going through all of that to maintain your composure and have all center focus on wherever that ball is as it's popping out is pretty incredible. I would imagine you could line up however many players you want to try and do that exact same thing. I bet you none of them are able to do it. If you put 10 guys out there, none of them are able to do it. I don't know if he could do it again, but when you do crazy crap like that 2 nights in a row, catching stuff bouncing off of your leg or your knee or whatever, and now that one bouncing out again, and now using your bare hand to catch it. I mean, clearly the guy's unbelievable.
I think you can do anything if you do that 2 nights in a row, man. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no question about that. Coming up on the other side, Green and Gold update powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Andrew Wagner of Forbes Sports, Brewers writer there, brought to you by Focus Baseball, coming up in the 4 o'clock hour here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.